Leclerc has managed to qualify in the front row in every race so far this season. The Ferrari driver was very dominant in both Monaco and Barcelona. However, Red Bull has managed to win these races due to a better strategy and bad luck for Leclerc. Yet it seems like Ferrari has the fastest car in the grid, despite the results going in Red Bull's favor. Leclerc hasn't managed to deliver on Sunday, and that's when points are scored and when performance matters the most. With that being said, if we put the reliability issues in the past two races, it's clear that Ferrari is much faster than Red Bull. But why are Ferrari faster than Red Bull even though they managed to underperform in almost every race? And are there any positive signs that Ferrari can turn their bad luck into a good one? Stick with us until the end of this video as we'll explain the secret behind why Ferrari has the fastest car on the grid. First, it's safe to say that Ferrari has already set their priorities when it comes to its number 1 and number 2 drivers. Leclerc has managed to out-qualify Sainz in every race so far and has finished in front of him in the majority of races. Plus, Sainz has made some silly mistakes in the 2022 season and hasn't been able to keep up with the tempo of Leclerc. Although we must be fair and say that Sainz isn't necessarily slow, he's been able to finish in the top 3 in qualifying in every session that he hasn't crashed. The championship is now between Ferrari's driver Leclerc and both Red Bull drivers, as Perez has suddenly arisen as a favorite. He has been able to push his car to the limits, challenging Verstappen for the number 1 place in the team. With that being said though, Ferrari will try to optimize Leclerc for the rest of the season to be the main competitor from their team. The technical specifications of the F175, the Ferrari's car, are very innovative and modern, and this was mostly shown during the Barcelona GP. Although Leclerc's car hadn't managed to finish the race, he was very fast and was set to win the race without any real threat. However, a fast and non-reliable car is not what you need on the grid, which was the situation that Red Bull got themselves in at the first few races. Leclerc's car has failed due to a forced induction overheating localized to the compressor. More precisely, the turbine has been subjected to thermal stress, and this specific part was working at 12,000 RPM. The materials that the turbine was made of basically melted, and the compressor wasn't able to cool the car anymore. Why did Ferrari suffer this problem at Circuit de Barcelona? Because of two things. Number 1, the weather was so hot and the track temperature was very high. Number 2 is because the drivers are spending around 73% of the time on the accelerator, meaning that the car is constantly under pressure. The key for Leclerc's fast pace here is probably lying around in the serious package update Ferrari brought to this race. The director of the team, Matteo Binotto, had this to say after the Spanish GP. In the next 2 races, development will be the key. After 6 races, our team will be able to evolve the car in the right direction, which is an important element, said Binotto. But in which direction have they managed to develop their car? One important upgrade they managed to do is improve the air quality that's going into the ground effect floor. Most of the teams that have fought for the porpoising problem have tried to battle the air quality regarding the ground effect floor. The main problem was that the wave of air that comes off the front wheels is very disruptive. This causes the air going under the car to be in waves of turbulence. When the car turns, the angle that the turbulence leaves, the wheel changes. This turbulence travels into the wide deflectors, which are part of the new car regulation. So Ferrari has created a longer and more effective deflector, which works as a protection screen from turbulence. This new design funnels part of the turbulence outside of the floor, neutralizing the negative effects in the corners when a high downforce level is required. Now, thanks to the higher quality of air going under the car in the corners, Ferrari has been able to gain an advantage versus their main rivals, Red Bull, in these specific parts of the track. This has been proved by Monaco, a track that requires a massive amount of downforce due to it being full of low-speed corners. This downforce allows you to go faster through the low-speed corners. When you compare the fastest laps of Leclerc and Perez, the fastest driver that wasn't in Ferrari, you can see that Leclerc was faster in the corner sections, while Perez was faster in the straight zones. However, the straight zones were very little present, so the straight line speed didn't really count for Perez. Not just at the corners, Ferrari was also faster at the exit of the corners too. This is because their car has been able to carry a huge amount of downforce through the corners exit. Therefore, they had an immense amount of exit corner speed, much higher than Red Bull. If it wasn't for the bad strategy from Ferrari, Leclerc was set to win the race without any problem. The win was clearly in our hands. We had the performance, we had everything. I just don't really understand the call that I had, and I need explanations for now. I couldn't do much. I was called just before the last corner, so I couldn't react or ask for any information, but that was clearly the wrong choice. We need to get better," said Leclerc. He was angry, and rightfully so. Once he lost the track position to Verstappen, Perez, and Sainz, there was no way that he could make overtakes on any of them. It takes a huge mistake from the driver ahead so you could pass on the narrow streets of Monaco. With the track being as it is, most of the work is done in the qualifying session. This is where Ferrari has been brilliant on Saturday by starting at pole position, but somehow they seem to mess up the whole strategy regarding pit stop entries. Apart from the new and longer deflector, Ferrari has put yet another part to full maximization, and this part is the electro-hydraulic differential system. This system is very helpful in low-speed corners such as the ones at Monaco. It gives more torque to the outside tire when the F175 accelerates through the corner. In terms of performance, this allows the car to turn more aggressively and precisely, enabling it to gain more lap time on these parts of the track. The same thing happens in one more situation when the drivers get on the brakes during the entry to the corner. The electro-hydraulic differential system shifts at a higher braking percentage to the internal tire. This creates a torque vectoring effect and sets the trim angle into the corner, improving the entry line. As an effect, it seems like it suits Leclerc far more compared to Sainz, as the Spaniard has had some difficulties regarding learning how to operate the car around the system. So it's a good news here for Ferrari. The next track is in Montreal, and they could run the same setup here too. The Montreal GP is a circuit that has very big similarities to Monaco and Baku, and although it has a very long delta, straight line zone, it's full of narrow and low-speed corners. The eDiff, electro-hydraulic differential system, and the Ferraris could make excellent utilization of this track and be yet again one of the fastest cars on the grid. Ferrari isn't leaving anything to the case, as they will do modifications to their front wing configuration. They'll optimize the low drag configuration of the front wing and will run this same upgrade in Montreal the next race. Montreal's full of tight corners that are passed by with low speeds, but also has a huge delta that will require a much different setup compared to the low-speed corners. This is why Ferrari has done an upgrade in the front wing and has added fins, which channel the air up to the Venturi tunnels. This helps in improving the ground effect while also expelling excess air out of the side of the car. However, the team has yet another upgrade. They'll run a different paint, which will be able to conduct heat better. This means that the turbulent air that will travel over the body of the car will take away more heat from the engine. The Italian team is ready to take back the top, and their car is surely the fastest out there. It's just a matter of time before they realize some tricks around it, as these masters will surely challenge Red Bull. Do you think Ferraris are the fastest car on the grid as of now? Do you think that they have a legitimate shot at both championships with how things are going so far? Let us know in the comments below. Take care and drive safely.